here in the Open Arms, our virtual pub. I've got to tell you, my turn today has had and is still having just the most wonderful and fascinating career. He was discovered by John Peel when he was a teenager. He then went on to work with Elton John. He is a seriously accomplished musician, composer, radio presenter as well. And he sung the theme tune to Fireman Sam. What an incredible CV. I mean, it's just so varied. To tell us more and to give us his new song, Summer's Gone, welcome to the show, the incredible, the wonderful Mal Pope. Hello, Mal.
Hey, has all the scampi gone? Just before we go any further.
Hold on. Wayne, have we got any scampi? He says he's got something in breadcrumbs, but he's not sure what it is.
That's the thing with scampi. It doesn't really matter. I'll have it. If you can put me down for a portion and some chips. Lovely, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm sure that is absolutely fine. Mal, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. First of all, let me just say, I absolutely, genuinely love your new song. It is glorious. It is lush, and we are going to hear it. It's very multi-layered. It sounds like a really big production, was it?
Well, it was, but it was all... You know, they talk about people phoning in their contributions to stuff. Well, everybody did, but they emailed it in. So I'm in the shed where I've got my little studio. I'd send it to the string arranger. He'd do the strings. Then we'd send it to the bass player, the drummer. But the great thing was, because there was no... You know, they always say it's great when you're all in the studio together, when you're all listening to each other. But there are always constraints that musicians put on other musicians. So they don't go completely to the end of their ideas. Well, this time, nobody was keeping an eye on their shoulders. It all came back to me, and it was a job fitting it all in onto 2 tracks, you know, just stereo.
Wow.
But it's a big sound, thank God.
Well, it genuinely is. It's wonderful, and it is perfect for this time of year. I wonder, from everything you were saying there as well, is it easier to make music now than maybe when you first started and you were sort of sending tapes off here, there, and everywhere into people like John Peel?
I mean, I was 12 years old. I recorded my own songs on my dad's old Philips tape recorder. And when it got to John Peel and his producer at Radio 1, they had to find an old machine old enough to actually play it. And then I think they must have been horrified when they had this letter from a 12-year-old Welsh singer-songwriter. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? And so they were so horrified, they thought it... And actually, when they listened to it, they thought... Oh, this is interesting. And they offered me the session. I mean, but we are so blessed. Kids these days with GarageBand, you know, we can complain about it. Some of the old musicians can complain about it, but it's a democratization of making music, isn't it? As long as if you can get hold of some sort of computer system and a microphone, you can make music anywhere and send it anywhere in the world. It's fantastic.
I still love that ethos though that John Peel had, which was, you know, if you sent him something, he would do his absolute best to listen to it, and sometimes that meant that wonderful things happened from there, and something wonderful did happen to you, didn't it?
Well, it was. He and his producer, a guy called John Walters, they made sure that all their friends listened to the programme and sort of made all the caveats beforehand. He's only 12, he's Welsh, and his da-da-da-da. And a couple of record companies wanted to sign me. So one was Elton John, and they knew Elton John really well because he used to do some broadcasting for them. But there was another one, and they felt a duty of care to say, there is another record company who would like to sign or interested in signing you, but we think they might be a bit fly-by-night. They're called Virgin Records. We don't, so, we think it would be...
Oh, dear.
It could be safe. I mean, but, you know, what a journey that next sort of 6 years were, from being 13 years old and, you know, through go to university. And I was produced by Gus Dudgeon, who produced Space Oddity, who produced all of Elton John's records. I was in the studio with Elton John's band. I mean, Elton produced a couple of tracks as well at Abbey Road, all before the age of 16. I mean, it was just... And sometimes I look back and think this is somebody else's life.
That is crazy.
If you say, if you look at my CV, the only person you'll never have heard of is me. You know, because they were. I mean, I think the absorption of working with those people. I mean, because it was very strange. I remember I was 15 years old in the studio with Gus Dudgeon at the Marquee Studios, and it was a late night, and I kept the same hours as other sessions. So it's gone midnight. We're waiting for these tapes to come in from America. I fell asleep on the sofa at the back of the studio whilst Gus Dudgeon mixed the John Lennon, Elton John tapes from Madison Square Garden. You know?
Oh my goodness!
And that was sort of like, I remember they say, you're going to have a special day tomorrow. They picked me up from the hotel in a taxi, got to this, I knocked on this big door, opened it up. It was opened by Pete Townsend. I walked in, it was their studios. They were recording Tommy. They got a little seat for me above the booth where Elton John was playing the piano. And I was there all day while they recorded Pinball Wizard for the film Tommy. I mean...
You should write a book. Have you written a book, Mal?
There is one out there.
Is there?
It's called Old Enough to Know Better. I wasn't old enough to know better. That was the thing. I was so blasé about it. You know, when I went into the Abbey Road studios to work with Elton John, I opened the door and Elton was sat at the table. Obviously, he was my idol. There's a guy called Brian Moore who used to present On the Ball, the football show. But next to them was Eric Morecambe. And they just done a charity record to raise some money for football pitches in sort of deprived areas. You know,
I think you're making it up now, Mal. I think I can't.
So he says to Eric, so Elton he never got my name right. So my full name is Maldwyn. Okay,
Maldwyn, right, yeah.
But people call me Mal. But Elton used to call me Blodwyn Pig originally. And then he used to, in the end, we got him round to call me Maldwyn. So he says to Maldwyn, this is Eric. Well, of course I know it's Eric Morecambe. He's got the glasses and everything. And they were lovely. But so Eric Morecambe says, oh, where are you from, boy? And I said, I'm from Swansea. He said, oh, me and Ernie did our first gig at the Empire in Swansea. Oh. And it was sort of like that. I was like the company mascot. You know, so.
You were you were clearly like massively welcomed on board there. And I know that, I mean, your career it's gone on. I don't think you've ever really stopped working. You've written musicals. You were at some point president of the Welsh Male Voice Choir. I mean, do you just love music?
I do, and it's the power of yes, isn't it? I mean, it's probably got me into trouble. I've got 4 kids. So, I mean, but the power of yes is very powerful because, you know, if you turn things down too quickly, you never know where that road will lead you. I mean, Fireman Sam is a classic example.
Right. Well, let's have a listen. There we go. This is Mal singing. Come on, sing along, man. Sam is the next door. Oh my gosh, Mal! As if that's you. I mean, that's what I can't get my head around. A song that I have heard probably a million times in my life, and that's you. So you say yes to everything. How did that come about?
Well, Wales got a lot of money to make programmes for a thing called S4C. England had Channel 4 and Wales had its own 4th channel. But obviously making programmes in Welsh wasn't easy to sell abroad. But if you made cartoons, you could sell them in any language. So the first one I did was a thing called Super Ted. Do you ever remember Super Ted?
Yeah.
Who's the bear shoots through the air? Like
is that you as well?
Yeah.
No.
Super Ted. I don't want to talk about it. And Joshua Jones, it was like David Essex, who used to live on a barge. Some people live in the country. Anyway, but Fireman Sam... we're going to do a cartoon about a fireman. I'm up for it. Put me down. Yeah. I'll do the demos and everything. And but the thing is, it probably is my biggest worldwide song, you know, because people grew up with it. As you say, people grew up with it. They love it. If people from 30 to 45 to 50, there's a special age, you know, because on YouTube you can actually see what the demographic is of people listening to videos and stuff. I get 80,000 views every 28 days on my Fireman Sam recording.
No,
and it's that classic band of people who are kids. We know when that was.
Do
really
you ever, you know, if ever you perform anywhere, do you ever wheel it out as a you know, grand finale?
Actually, I usually start with it. I usually tell my story about Elton John, and then I ask God to give me a song that will touch the hearts of the children of this nation. Then I go, he hears that fire bell chime, Fireman Sam is there on time. And if you're doing something like a university, kids go wild for it. They go wild for it.
Oh, you've got your guitar with you as well. Oh, you're so clever. Are you? So if I was to say to you, I don't know, what can you just give us a quick tinkle on? You don't tinkle on guitars, do you?
Well, this is a song that Bonnie Tyler recorded. Hey, yeah. Let's hear it for the cappuccino girls. And there we are. I mean, but she's been to my shed, Bonnie, because she lives just down. You know Bonnie Tyler.
Of course I know. Do you know Bonnie Tyler? I don't personally, but you obviously do.
Well, she's exactly as you see her on the radio. Well, you don't see her on the radio. As you hear her on the radio and see her on the TV, that's exactly what she's like all of the time. She's very loud. And she's fantastic. And you know those little VU meters that they have, those little things that show how loud a recording is?
Yeah.
You know, well, after the end of the session, mine was welded on to the right in the red section because she's just so loud.
Yeah.
And she's brilliant. She's been very supportive. I mean, I've been, lucky, blessed, whatever you want to call it. I've worked with some fantastic people, and it's amazing, when you bring a guitar into a room with musicians and they don't know who you are, there is a little bit of funny moment where they're but then you start playing. I remember I'm very good at name dropping, so they go something. So I remember interviewing Cliff Richard, right? And I brought my guitar, but I didn't tell them until the moment we sat down and he was in a recording studio. I said, do you mind if I get my guitar? And Cliff looked at me and said, what do you mean? I said, well, if we're talking about, so he said, oh, okay. So, and then we're going where the sun shines brightly. And I did the harmony. And suddenly there was this little thing in his eyes that he felt, if not exactly impressed, but safe.
Oh, Mal, right? Because we're having a right good chinwag. Right. I'm going to do the travel. Then I'm going to come back. And then we're going to have your new song. Is that all right? Can you hang on for a moment? Is that all right?
I'm waiting for my scampi. I'm not going anywhere.
Of course you are. Quick look on the roads then. Problems in Horsforth. An accident has been reported on Broadway. To get in touch on our travel line if it's safe to do so, 0330 123 0182.
The sound of West Yorkshire.
Together we can make a difference. BBC Radio Leeds.
Whoa, and you join us in our open arms, our virtual pub on a Friday afternoon. My guest, Mal, is still on the line because he's going to be our turn. He's going to provide us with a fabulous, fabulous song. I hope you are still there, aren't you, Mal?
I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere.
I feel somewhat judged as well because I do know that you are quite besides everything else that you do, you are an accomplished radio presenter as well, I believe.
Well, the funny thing is Swansea isn't the centre of the entertainment world. I'm not sure if you knew that. So I've had to turn my hand to just about everything. I look after the director's box at the Liberty Stadium, well, the Swansea.com stadium for Swansea City. I've got a portfolio career.
You have. Because you're very talented. Well, I'm going to let you get off. We are going to hear your song Summer's Gone, but I'm going to take you up to the little staging area if that's all right. Okay. Where can we get hold of all your music? And is this part of a new album?
The new album's on the way, yeah. A lot of songs recorded in lockdown, but Spotify, Apple Music, it's on all the streaming services. If you were to go to malpope.com, it's got all the links there.
Perfect. It's been great to talk to you. Let's lead you back through the bar. I'm going to sort your scampi out. Would you like a little drinky poo as well? What would you like to drink?
Ooh, gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic. I can absolutely do that for you. You will see that the staging area is not particularly huge, but the crowd, they are so warm. They are so ready to receive what you have for us. So when you're ready, set yourself up, introduce yourself, introduce the song. You're very welcome to say something about it if you like, but then I will take it away. All right, Mal?
Thank you. Thanks to Gayle. Thanks to everybody here at the Open Arms. So it's lovely to be here in Leeds. This is my new single. It's called Summer's Gone. My name's Mal Pope, and it's lovely to be here this afternoon.
Until the tears ran dry. Then I took her up and I held her and I said, you are no fool, but I could be the one who makes you whole. But now that the summer's gone, I still hear your voice you. And everything reminds me of all the things we do. As you walked away, I called out, praying that you'd turn again. As you disappeared, I felt the rain. But now, oh, now that the summer is gone, oh, I still hear your voice calling out my name. Oh, now that the summer is gone, I still feel the same. Before the rains came,
Hooray! Woo, 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 woo! That was the brilliant and quite fascinating Mal Pope and Summer's Gone. Honestly, look him up. I really enjoyed that. Enjoyed that a lot.